key or two and purses, bags, lip glosses, eyeliners and packs of fags. 200 quid drawn from a cash machine whilst on the biggest spender ever seen.
Ackee bags I was never meant to have. Sunglasses left in a festival lav. Tickets and wallets from gaping pockets. Earring bags, countless. Bangles and lockets.
Leaning on fingers, playing with tall grass. I'm lost in music and sun shines at last. A festival where Kings of Leon sung. They dropped the bucket and I lost my phone.
My phone that failed to catch the Bintang boat. My hoodies, jumpers, socks and hand-down coats. Found trampled in the daylight, soaked in piss. The hours lost to late night Leeds Fest bliss.
My favourite records left behind some decks. Some eyesight, though I've never lost my specs. Beanies and hoodies dropped on dirty floors. Bouncer impounded drugs at clubland doors.
I flirt ineptly and will evermore, and yet I flirt just fine with all my flaws. The road to losing confidence is straight. The only thing I never lose is weight.
A wayward pill that rolled from turned down sock. We bought more drugs, still got to run amok. Too many memories from getting wrecked. No night out, just a black hole in my head.
My ex's diagnosis was no cure. He had spent his whole life in waiting for. Instead of learning to accept new fate, his rage devoured me at deathly rate.
I said, we've gone as far as we can go. And with that phrase, I've sealed our fate, I know. Lose home, lose pets, lose second family. Try not to dwell on the lost fertility.
No one knew that Christmas would be our last. Memories on photos now ghostly past. Family gatherings have too much space. I miss bumping elbows when saying grace.
The ring my parents bought to mark my age. The rings and vows my wife and I exchanged. The breath I held for hours by Dad's side. The final spark of life within his eyes.
A litany of loss, now left behind, but rich pickings for anecdotes I find.
Green and yellow bullets to my brain. Tramadol fog. No cure for chronic pain.
Let your lives revolve around each other, because these moments can change forever.
The things we own can always fade away. The people who we love, we need to stay.
I said, I think we've lost him. No. Mum says. Mum knows. He grips the sheets and he gasps. Then he goes. A man like that takes something with him when he dies. In my dad's case, he takes his method for making scrambled eggs. Now, like most families, we don't always agree, but everyone knows Dad's scrambled eggs are the best. So why did I never ask you how to make scrambled eggs?
Recipe for eggshells. Align ingredients like perfume balls side by side on dressing table display. Slice mat roots into pepper. Follow coordinates, not instinct. Add garlic only when onion is translucent. Add chili only when his beer has the perfect head. Corn is sinner's atonement. Do not be tempted to include gelatin. Even the smallest amount obliterates morals. Add chopped tomatoes. Heat mixture to a bubble. Clamp arm to wooden spoon. Stir continuously. Fists crater walls into meringue. Dessert is the gift for the deserved. Cook to the beat of scratched CDs on repeat. Wash lettuce with warm worries. Season with gritted teeth. Serve dinner daily at 7 p.m. Always have backup timers ready. Heavy storms disrupt sundials.
Rules for being accepted. With friends, make yourself bolshy and loud and Yorkshire. Shrug off jokes and insults, shred personal beliefs. Let the words fit, tit and shag re-enter your vocab with no reference to workouts, songbirds or rugs. Get drunk, overly familiar. Throw salt in words until you shuffle dance in brother hugs across sticky floors covered in condiments. On dates, wear shirts that hide your wounds and hang loose over excess gut. Find jigsaw pieces of you that interlock, spill sarcasm over the gaps, then throw the whole board skyward as your lips collide across unstable bar stools, mismatched cues cutting air. With parents, decorate yourself with maturity. Let guilt stain floral print walls when you smoke midnight cigarettes from childhood windows. Hide your hangovers and horniness beneath tablecloths sewn from P's and Q's, polite on pain of death. Ink your skin with qualities you hope they like, only to find them disappointed you got tattoos in the first place. With children, be bombastic and proud. Light fuses that explode bright minds. Shake the resulting splattered walls with stamping, dancing feet. Use playful hands to smudge order into chaos. Transform murals into acceptance and love for those that struggle to belong, who will always, have always been yours. With yourself, lose all respect for these rules. Pile pounds of criticism on your shoulders. Smother yourself under pillowcases stuffed with insults. Cut edges from your pieces until they're slim enough for strangers. In solitude, never belong.
Age 16 with low self-esteem. Don't fall for the first goateed Lothario who shows an interest. Waiting outside for you to finish your Saturday supermarket slog. Telling you he likes your tabard. Don't be blinded by the glamour of older. It doesn't always mean wiser or more interesting. Ditto him having a job and money. This may seem worldly, but look closer. If he lives in his mum's cellar and the job is moving heavy stuff from A to B, those aren't good signs. Learn to know a man by the company he keeps. If his best friend is a problem drinker who once burnt his face on a radiator whilst in a drunken stupor, maybe avoid. Don't lose your virginity in lazy competition with other girls at school. for want of anything more exciting to do. Don't be surprised when it all becomes a bit intense and you leave the town where you met, only to find he follows you. And so you leave the country where you met, only to find he follows you. And then you meet him, have a nostalgia fuck, and have to take the morning after pill at an illegal rave when it is being raided and helicopters are flying overhead. Don't do any of that. Stay in school and meet a nice boy in your English class instead.
I love the froglets so much. I don't want them to go. Late June, light nights, and the lawn is alive with bouncing. My thin summer dress sticks to my thighs, slickened by their slime, as I try to cram as many as I can into an old ice cream tub with water in so they can swim and I can keep them. Next morning, keen to see them again, I peel back their plastic roof and their tiny, bloated bodies bob and float. They're dead. Mum says, Mum knows. Age 5, my understanding of their needs is slim. Should have had some holes to let some air in. The makeshift Tupperware I'd thought their home. Instead I realise I made their tomb.
Age 7, I begged for a kitten. I got my way. Black and white, no tail, Manx. Smudge only lasted a few months. Run over in the road by Mum's driving instructor. Smudge seemed okay at first, but was found behind the refrigerator, stiff and cold the next morning. Mum's words haunted me. I think the cat is dead. Face buried in still, soft fur. I cried at the loss. Kitten number 2 got trapped in our flooded kitchen. Survived clinging to a beer crate. We named her Flood. Soon had her own babies, too tiny to live. This time, aged 8, I understood. And when we buried the kittens, it seemed logical to dig them up and have a look, to see what death had done to them. Death doesn't leave much worth seeing. There was no I think when Mum called me to tell me Dad was dead. I had to see for myself in the funeral home to know that he was not him anymore. We buried him in a bluebell wood with a harmonica, a Scrabble board, and endless love. Skylarks flew overhead and death was something I knew. A black cat prowling just out of view.
Visiting Dad. Thin, cold tongues of freezing water lick black-edged grit, smudge pastel pink skies into sand-blasted cheeks with otherworld thumbs. Final daylight refracts through droplets shaken from canine fur, cascading brow-beaten sunlight into paw pockets patterning miles of beach. Stranded seaweed grasps at the feet of a man stopped beside sepia-soaked spaniel. Zippo-eyed girl sparking mischief, smiling, smitten in self-made dresses by Austin A40s, swaddling blankets, first homes, family, hand-grown flowers, fingers gripped tightly by his side. Decade-dampened flintlock eyes glance anxiously for fear they might be caught by grey skies, grey hair. Watch paper waves scatter the man she loves.
Clearing Uncle Joe's. Fingertips scroll through carousel, lifting transparencies for personal slideshow of lost memories. Mum appears in dust particles, glistening like a lava lamp. Red Wellingtons swallow toddler knees. Looks at me with calm reprieve. Key lock released. I take my chances. Stampede stairs to first door at the top. I'm in luck. Wash hands. Spy single toothbrush. Needing toothpaste, I pocket Sensodyne without second thought. Months later, tube sits squeezed at back of shelf. The longer I leave it, the harder it is to clear the dust.
Dull beats call to desperate faces. We pilgrims arrive to sweat, shout and dance. Euphoria thunders our hearts through the races as huge writhing masses with bared teeth hold hands. A many-limbed beast, eyes squinting at daylight, our heads tilted skyward, we threaten to fall through lovesick air and powder paint spotlights as another beat calls. Now we lie still, dance floors deserted for fear that we'll wake the children in bed. Shower streams wash the grime and the powder, leave us to lie here and wish we were dead. The cliff face we climbed when life was much louder, left throbbing with nothing but dust in my head. The years that we add just make the next morning drag on for a week-long limbo of dread.
Duff, 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 duff. The beat of the bass shakes the stony Spanish ground. We've been driving for hours in this old camper van to the place where a free festival might be found. Anyone can sniff out a party. We four can. My posse, my cadre, my army, my crew. There are tents to assemble and bonfires to build. We arrive here as friends and we leave as me and you, having kissed by the flames, all cosy yet chilled. Next morning, slight awkwardness. Something has changed. We've perhaps lost a friendship, but what have we gained? There's no time for analysis. To the airport we flit, where you empty your pockets in a paranoid fit. Future parties turn grimy with a ketamine fog. A friend's phone is swallowed by the compost bog. Connections once strong break off or just fade. Everyone going their own separate ways. One by one, over years, we each leave the dance floor, but the beat doesn't care who the beat is for. And the fashions may change and the melodies alter and new faces appear as our footsteps falter. But the beat goes on and on and on, for the beat doesn't care to whom the feet belong.
It's 5 a.m. and you say, hold my hand, As the sun rises pale over Derbyshire hills, a night that has lasted forever and ever, and we get to the party and we take some more pills and we roam, techno savages swarming the landscape, vehicles painted in rust and day glow, cars left abandoned in ditches and trenches as the beats and the rhythm coax us to let go. Elsewhere, sunrise is scratching the corners of windows, backdropped and thrumming to deep tribal beat. Acid-scarred blood boilers slouch in the corners as shamans and bionic people move feet and shift liquid bodies, gurning and twitching and riding a ripple as graceful as hope. And this is it, everything's simple and just drinking and dancing and moving through smoke, and there is no tomorrow and nothing is lost and we don't yet know. All of this comes at a cost.
Kochang warmth cuddles us in a cocoon. Ice sweats in buckets to chill Sangsong rum. Sea breeze bar plays Dark Side of the Moon. Time disappears to the beach we succumb. Friends sink into sand, puppy bounce on toes. But the night's black invites my grieving mind. As if nudged by force, I walk to unknown, apprehensive of what I might find. Making tracks back and forth under palm trees, realization unfolds across paint-speckled sky. Aurora of colours sets broken heart free. Uncle Joe's love of travel lives within me.
Think more a tunnel than a well. Chase your back dog towards the light. Ride loss like it's a carousel.
You'll gather up your long lost selves and train them for another fight. Think more a tunnel than a well.
Hold hands with pain and it compels journeys that reach towards new heights. Ride loss like it's a carousel.
Cry into the mirror and yell, you deserve love in your own right. Think more a tunnel than a well.
Stop focusing on loss. Rebel. Sometimes keep going out of spite. Ride loss like it's a carousel.
Letting go might hurt like hell.
But till your time comes to a light.
Think more a tunnel than a well.
Ride loss like it's a carousel.